What's up, all you motorcycle enthusiasts, and welcome to the V-Twin Life here on YouTube. We talk motorcycles powered by those V-Twins, what fuels their passion, why you enjoy it so much. V-Twin Life is brought to you by these two great companies, Crash Inc. Clothing and Wild Ass Seats. Hey, you want to add some comfort to your ass when you're out riding, whether you're a 400-mile guy or maybe a guy that's pushing 1,000 plus, or female rider for that matter? Hey, check out wild-ass.com and add some comfort to your ass. Can't forget Crashing Clothing, that Northwest brand out of the Pacific Northwest. Hey, these guys got a lot of great stuff, from t-shirts to hats, raincoats, you name it. Hey, they can get you covered. Check out crashingclothing.com. Now, let's dive into another milepost of the V-Twin Life.
What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome back to another milepost on the V-Twin Life. We're here with milepost 53. We got my good buddy, Bry the Biker, sitting on this one with Mr. Leo Gomes, the founder of American Cycle Riders out of Arizona.
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Not too much. Thanks for joining us, Leo.
Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers, buddy. So, what sparked you to get on two wheels and find that passion on the road, Leo?
Man, I was just I don't know, about 5-6 years old, and one day my father, drove in the garage, he had a motorcycle, and he says, "Hey, hop in front of the motorcycle." I was 5-6 years old, and he drove me around, and to this date, man, it's been a long time ago, by the way, when I was 5. I would never forget that moment. Grabbing the tank of the motorcycle with my dad, and him, probably going 30 miles an hour. It felt like he's going 115. So that's how it started for me. But my first bike, actually, I didn't buy until I was 16 years old. It was a 1978 CB 360 Honda. And then sky's the limit.
And then you were hooked.
Man, I think I was hooked when I was in my mom's belly, man. I was just like, it's one of those things. I was just like, I just love it so much, man. I just thought that's all I think about. If I'm not playing guitar, I want to ride my bike.
Well, you kind of get that, from following your social media. I swear every day it's like out for a ride here, going for a ride there. And it's like, God damn, it must be nice living in Arizona where you get that luxury.
Yeah, and prior to Arizona, I lived in Florida. So the only difference here, you got dust storms here and, 3 o'clock rain over there. But aside from that, yeah, riding, if I can afford to ride every day, I will. And it's one of the reasons why I make so many harsh decisions in my life this time around, because I want to be closer and closer to motorcycles and the motorcycle community.
Well, and then let's talk about that brand you got on your shirt and that on your hat. That, now I'm correct, you did start that, the American Cycle Riders.
Yeah, American Cycle Riders was about 6.5 years ago, 7 years ago. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long. It was myself and a buddy of mine, and we wanted to go out and get to meet new people and find out, more about the area and riding places and so on. So, a funny story that it wasn't American Cycle Riders when it started. It was Hog Riders of North America. And as soon as I hit 500 followers on Facebook, I got a message from a Harley employee saying that we're going to go after you. Take that name down because of the word hog. Mm-hmm. And then me and my wife were just, trying to figure out what name is just fitting. I'm like, well, being that I was born in Brazil and I was raised here, and, I'm all about, the country, love of country and everything else, it needed to be patriotic. I needed to have the American flag behind it. And the wife said, well, the skull is very fitting to the motorcycle community. And one thing, what? This is it. I'm all about bikes, bikers, and rides. And the skull, there's no race in the skull. We're all one when we're riding a motorcycle. So that's how the logo was created. And then I said, okay, well, American Cycle Riders, ACR, perfect fitting. So I just quickly got the name trademarked and changed it and started, the group.
That's awesome.
Nice. So, what kind of stuff you guys do down there with, within, for it? You got monthly meetups, rides, or,
Yeah, well, 2021 has been very, very strange. Prior to that, it was, probably an average of 2 to 3 rides a month. We do meetups, meet new people, or the regulars come out, and we set up rides. Sometimes, just a 50-mile round trip ride, or sometimes it's like we did one last year, 525 miles for one day. And we've done last year, we just only done one overnight. And this year, of course, now that I'm fully dedicated to motorcycles, we're probably thinking about at least 2 or 3 overnights and 2 to 3 rides a month
Nice.
around this area here. Yeah.
Now, when you did that big one, you're talking 500 plus miles. How many people were on that with you, roughly? I mean, I know you don't have the exact number, but
I think 10, 12 are the ones that actually had the courage to come out.
well, I think
And
sometimes that many miles, when you get that many people, it does add a whole nother level of difficulty keeping everybody together. Plus, fuel stops and gas stops. It can be a little bit time consuming.
yeah, no, he was. And, it's something that we planned way far ahead. What I wanted to do is, I call it a mini iron butt. Right? Instead of 1,000 miles, I'm going to do a 1 day, 500-mile day ride. And but we were able to, plan all the stop areas for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and gas. But aside from one bike breaking down 20 miles before we got to the house, it was a great, great day.
Sounds fun.
Now, is this an organization that they join, or is this just sort of a loosely fitted club that you have?
No, good question, because I get that a lot. So one of the things that I wanted to do is for everyone that is now there, they don't want to associate themselves, pay monthly fees, or you don't have to wear a patch, and it doesn't really matter what motorcycles you ride. And the purpose behind American Cycle Riders was to bring anybody that wanted to go out and meet people and go out in a group. It doesn't matter what you ride as long as you're riding, right? That type of stuff. So it is a group. I had never had any plans to make it more than that at this point. Create more like a lifestyle with the group, a clothing brand, for motorcycle riders, and moving on that way versus, the RCMC approach.
That's fair. It's more inclusive for sure.
Hmm. Yeah,
Very nice.
we have there's a good friend of mine, and he rides a slingshot. He started on the road glide and had some issues with his wrist, and and he needed to, felt like it was time to get rid of his road glide and got a slingshot. He's still part of the group. He comes out. He will come out with us. It doesn't really matter if it's a trike or it's a slingshot or a Honda or a Harley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, that's kind of in a way I've always been. Whether a friend, somebody called, hey, you want to go for a ride? Do you mind if so and so comes? I mean, he doesn't have a Harley, but do you care? It's like, man, I don't care what a guy rides. It's like he could be on a trike. Like you're saying, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're all out there enjoying, just want to get out and enjoy those nice days. And whether, sure, we all talk about, the two-wheel life, but, some people, they might enjoy that trike or whatnot. And hey, that's fine. You want to go ride? Hey, let's go.
Absolutely. My wife, when she had this incredible change of hearts, deciding to join the motorcycle world with me, she had a Can-Am for about a year because she didn't feel comfortable on 2 wheels. And very recently, we just sold her Can-Am because she wants 2 wheels. She's decided this is what I want. I don't want to have a trike. And one day, if there's a physical need for me to need a trike, then I'll get one. But yeah, it really doesn't matter what you ride.
Exactly.
I think that's the thing that the Harley riders get confused with. Everybody thinks you have to ride a Harley to be a motorcycle rider. It gets old quick.
Man, if you check out my TikTok, you see how I feel about that. There's one thing that there's two, and I get this different opinions. It depends where you're from, region, geographics, culture. But Harley riders and the 1000cc sport bikes. those riders, they can be very, very particular. Mine is bigger, mine is faster, mine costs more money, but they get so involved in that BS that it becomes like, they alienate themselves from the rest of the community, because it's just like it gets old.
Yeah.
It gets really, really old. So I make fun of them.
But you know what? You'll also make fun of. I mean, you won't so much as pick on the leader bikes. I mean, you'll make fun of, take a comical approach to anybody within the motorcycle industry, from sport bikes to scooters. I mean, to guys on Harleys. I mean, you're not, and it's not so much you're picking fun at them. It's another way of comedy and humor on TikTok. And it's like, I've watched some of them. You'll sit there, pick apart, stereotypes of Harley riders, and you turn around, you point, and there's your freaking Road Glide right behind you. I mean, it's all done in humor, and dude, it is funny. I mean, that's actually how I found you when you were on the podcast a year ago, before I took this next adventure to where we're here now on YouTube. I found you on TikTok, and I was dying laughing. It was some good freaking entertainment.
Yeah, man. And, I tell you what, 95% of the viewers, they laugh. There's always that one, and that's just part of life. It doesn't matter if it's Harleys or nothing. They're just always going to talk shit.
Yeah.
They're going to get butthurt about it. They're offended because we're talking about their motorcycles. And to me, it's irrelevant, because I'm a fan of motorcycles. I mean, it does not need to be a Harley. I pretty close tried to join the Indian train last year, but my love for the Harley Davidson brand was such that I kept with the Road Glide. But it doesn't really matter, man. I mean, there are all kinds of bikes out there for all kinds of people. Let's go fucking ride.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. I really admire. You had the Street Glide, that Batwing bike, and just wasn't good enough. Right, you should take lessons. And then he got a Road Glide.
What? Look, you're all going to be upset when I drop my CVO Road Glide Limited video. So just whatever.
Hey, as long as it's at your house and it's titled in your name, hey, buddy, I like it.
Look, a bagger's a bagger. I always thought that I was going to one day own a Road King, okay? I used to tell my buddies all the time, I'm going to get a Road King when I'm 60, right? Well, the Street Glide was a big step. I did it because my wife wanted to join me on rides, but she hates when I say that. But she picked the color that she liked and the looks that she liked. And the blacked out look, and because I was so excited to have my wife with me, I just went with it. But once she bought her bike, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Because that's not really my bike. She hates me for it, though. She's gonna yell at me for this.
That's awesome. I mean, it's like me. I was always a fan of the Road King Custom. I love that big headlight they had on the customs. I mean, I'd still love to have one of those someday in the garage. There's just something about them.
We all have that particular motorcycle that we know we shouldn't have sold it, right? And I wish I could bring back my 2008 Dyna Lowrider. That bike gave me the best moments of my life, and a great, and I did so much to that bike. It was a beautiful motorcycle, red and chrome everywhere, chrome world. And so when I ride the Road Glide, and I'm making it chrome too, in old school, it reminds me of that bike, and I wish I could have it. Have that bike back.
Yeah, but if you would have kept it, your group probably would have been known as American Dyna Bros. So
you got to get all those tube socks with the shorts and the Dixons,
the flannel.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. I couldn't resist. I mean, those Dynas, tell you what, man, they're jumping in popularity right now. The value of those things is skyrocketing. Everybody wants one.
Yeah. I just think it,
Are you telling us something, Denver?
Nope.
Okay.
I just like, the Memphis fairing and the 2-in-1. I just think it's just like, okay, well, be more creative. When I had my lowrider, he had the Vincent Hines, 1-in-1 exhaust, and people, you're supposed to get the 2-in-1. I'm like, I'm not getting the 2-in-1. I'm old school. I'm more like Willie G, man, back in late 70s, I don't want to look like a Dyna Bro.
And they just really not my style. I mean, I'm a big fan of the baggers for, I enjoy, taking off 2 days, 3 days, or touring on a motorcycle. And that was the biggest thing, when I was looking for, upgrade motorcycles was I wanted the hard bags. I've ridden in rain, living up here in the Northwest, we do get it occasionally. The weatherman might say there's not going to be no rain, but you're bound to hit it. And the biggest thing for me is like, if I'm traveling somewhere, sure, if you're on a long trip, you're going to find rain eventually. You might be soaking wet, but when you can get to, your hotel or whatever you're staying somewhere, knowing that you have dry clothes in those hard bags is a huge deal. Just, for me, that was one of the options. Like, you know what? I want hard bags. That was, the biggest thing. It's like I wasn't particular on brand or anything else. Like, this is just one feature that I want in my next bike.
I feel the same way, man. I was anti-Harley until I bought a Harley. I was anti-baggers until I got one. And I can't live life without my road ride. I can't. I mean, I'm going to can't do a 300-mile trip on my CB. I'll have no ass by the end of the trip.
Oh, there's this thing called the wild ass. Just saying.
Here we go.
There you go. There we go.
Hey, perfect plug, perfect placement, man. That's all I got to say.
Oh,
don't worry, Bri. I won't switch hats for you.
I was in the same situation. I used to go in the Harley dealerships and make fun of the people that bought a Harley, and I was always like, I'd go with my buddy, he bought his, and I was like, Then I bought one, and I'm like, all right, I get it. I rode one, and I was like, all right, I totally get it. It's just I'm still not 100% convinced I belong in that crowd, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? You enjoy your ride. You like riding it. You've taken the time to make it yours. It doesn't matter if a person thinks they fit or they don't. You buy what you like. You make that bike how you want it, and guess what? That's your bike. Who cares what other people think? Enjoy what you ride, and obviously, with all the stuff you've done to it, you have the passion for it. So,
100%. I just think it's funny because
haters.
you get these people that will argue over anything with bikes, and you're just like,
yeah.
dude, at the end of the day, it's just a bike. It really is. It doesn't define who I am, but it is funny for the people that it does define who they are.
Yeah, well, assholes are not very selective. You know what I mean? We have them in the sport bike world. We have them on the Harley world, the metric cruiser world. It doesn't matter. They're everywhere. Because on the same token, I make fun of metric cruisers too. The ones, the 5%. I'm calling it 1%. The 5% that I know are always bashing Harleys. Oh, bike parts everywhere. I'm gonna be a sweeper so I can sweep your parts. All that BS, the nonsense. And it's funny because there's a lot of people that I know that started on Japanese cruisers, and and now they have to shut their mouths.
Yeah. Hey, I started my first street bike. It was a Honda. Then it followed up by a couple Suzukis, and then I went to Harley. But I grew up within motorcycles, a motorcycle community. I mean, my stepdad, I can remember when he put together a shovel head that he bought. It was actually the original police bike from Port Angeles, the town that I'm in. And I remember when he got it, I can remember how excited he was, and he brought it home in like 18 boxes.
My God.
And then like 3 weeks later, he's riding down the road on it.
That's cool.
But I grew up all around. I remember the first time I rode that after restored it. I was so scared going down the driveway. It's like, please don't fall over. And I was like 13, 14. Oh, I was freaking terrified. But I'd hill climbed this Harley. We had a Harley Sportster we built for hill climbing. And then I had my CR500 that I hill climbed. I mean, I grew up all around motorcycles. It wasn't, I was never particular about one brand. It didn't matter to me. But, you get so used to some of them. You have that's like, someday I'm going to get a Harley. It's just, and down the road, but, I wasn't bound and determined that it had to be. Because I was honestly always really a fan of the Roadstar Warriors and the Roadstar lineup. I mean, they were impressive. I still do like them. They have a great sound to them. You put a set of pipes on those, and they are nice.
Well, I got a quick funny story for you guys. Before I got my first Harley, I had a Shadow 600, small bike, here in Arizona, bought it. And I really thought there was something wrong with that bike because every time we went uphill, I would go from 75, 73, 72, full throttle, right? That thing was a hog. Finally, came to the realization when I had a Honda 600 in Florida, there ain't no hills. I'm like, oh shit, I need something bigger, right? So that's when I made the move and I said, okay, well, I know that it's from a Shadow 600 to a sporty 1200. So I went from this hog to this huge rocket, of a motorcycle, and which, by the way, I outgrew it, like most folks that buy Sportsters do. I went from that to the Dyna, and the rest is history. But now we got the Road Glide. What else is there, right?
Exactly. It's Shark Nation or nothing. Well, I guess not for Bri, but
One day I'm going to be a big boy, and then I'm going to get one.
I know. I got faith in you. But, I will admit, though, your Ultra is damn nice. I just like to give you shit because you always talk about it. So I'm just trying to help push you over that threshold. That's all.
Oh, trust me. I didn't. When I saw that announcement, saw that red and black CVO, I was pushed. I just couldn't afford it.
Yeah. I really love the new ST, that Road Glide ST.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, and Softail, the lowrider ST with the big fairing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I wanted to take a look at it, but the price tag is $23,000.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the bags. I just think that they're weak. They should have done something different.
They're small.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a lot of the Switchback, where it's like it's a touring bike, but it's not because the bags are so small, especially when they open up sideways.
Yeah, and then they're just.
But the Gold one does that too. Yeah, it's just not my thing. I think if you're going to go all in, go all in. That, or I think what they should have done was put Pelican cases on. You see that a lot on the Dynas. I think that's a cool look.
A lot of people really love them. I know some guys that are running, Ultras and whatnot, and they're running the Pelicans for the tour packs.
I had
a lot more.
Yeah, I had those on my KOR. You could crash the bike. Those suckers didn't even move. They were just like, that's nice. Well, hold the whole bike up while you get off the ground. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
The Beard's in the house.
That's right.
Yeah, but I think to your point, the ST Road Glide is an extremely sweet bike.
Yeah. I really freaking like it. I love when you hit a button on your computer and you shrink the whole screen dramatically. Everything. I don't know how I did it, but man, that was some talent right there.
We got to get you a producer.
I know. In time, maybe, Hey, but you know what? I have fun doing this. And to me, hey, there's always technical errors, but when you can sit here and talk motorcycles, you have a passion about something, you can get other people and sit here and hang out and talk about it. Hey, what's better than that?
Yeah. As long as you learn the different intricacies of doing this and pausing yourself and allowing, time for whatever you're communicating back to you guys and forth. So there's no plopping over, that's one thing I had to overcome doing these things.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. And sometimes what I think is somebody gets on something, make a point like, oh, hey, I got a great note on that. But then it's like they keep breaking into something. By the time you want to bring it up, it's like, well, that's 10 minutes past. So forget that one. But right. No, it's fun. You can have some great conversations and build more friendships within this community that we all really enjoy.
Well, I appreciate that this is the second time around we're doing this, and one of the things that I remember you telling me, is like, Leo, one of the things that I'm gaining from this, that every podcast that I make, I'm gaining a new friend. I'm building relationships, and here we are. So I appreciate you for it.
Yeah, and it's you talk on that. It's thanks to me and Brian really that really helped me expand and get over here to doing the video and moving it to YouTube. It was always a goal I had, but it's like I wasn't really quite sure. And through this whole thing with the friendship and with Bri, he's been a tremendous help and a great friend. And I have him to thank for actually, getting me over here.
You were too good looking for radio. We had to get you to YouTube.
There you go. It's the beard, man. It's the beard.
It is.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not going to bow down to corporate sponsors or anything. I'm just got.
Oh dear God. Oh boy.
Man. Hey, that was comical, man. Yeah.
I was going to ask,
Check it out.
is my hat okay in the light?
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, hey, De Beers want to know if you're drinking a beer.
I am. I've made poor life choices. Storm King, De Beard.
Hey, actually, yeah, dude. Thanks there, 602 North. It has been fun, and doing these, it's a lot of fun. We have fun conversations and we all have a good time. So actually, Leo, before, we keep getting sidetracked, you're actually starting a new adventure.
Yeah, man. So quit my job, 25-year career, retired from, I call it retired from the corporate world, which, by the way, nothing but love and respect for my employer, for all the years putting up with me too. It goes both ways. But as I was progressing with AmericanCycleWriter.com and then with the clothing line and the group, the type of job I had was just like time consuming, a lot of traveling, a lot of dedication, a lot of, we call it ride-alongs with people and training and things like that, being all over the country, and just didn't have the energy to dedicate to what the passion is, which is the motorcycle. And I had a very good relationship from this company that I became friends with that is a great detailer. That's mobile detail, very good at it, became very successful doing it. And he actually asked me, say, I want you to be partners with me. And I told him, well, I can't give up my brand. This is me. This is who I am. And for the love of motorcycles and the love that I have to being close to them, I actually started my own detail business. But my focus is going to be more towards motorcycles, even though I'm going to be doing both. And eventually down the road, I'm going to, create two divisions, and a motorcycle division and a car division. And it's something
that's sweet. That's a really great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so why not just start, www.acrdetail.com. The site is not up yet. It'll be up in about a week. But we're going to be in business in about a week to 10 days. And of course, with my relationships with the Facebook page, TikTok, and this, I have folks waiting already to get their motorcycles detailed, their cars detailed.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that puts me in a position to be home with my family, to be around my motorcycles, to ride all the time, which I wasn't doing, and making money along the way, doing what I love to do.
So now, are you going to have a storefront, or are you kind of going to have a mobile setup where you'll go to them?
Yes and yes. So I'm starting off with the mobile service. I bought the equipment. Actually, equipment's in my garage. I'm going to build a truck to be fully to do any type of detail work, from a regular wash and detail, even to ceramic coating to a motorcycle. So it's going to be mobile until I feel like we're ready to create a storefront. And the other thing about it too is down the road, my second plan is and this is something that the wife wants to do more than anything, is to create an ACR ranch, in which is going to be a location which bikers go to as a pit stop, and they can be around. Maybe we create a stage. I don't know if you guys know this, but I play a little bit, and a stage in which we can bring bands together. Maybe I don't know if it's going to be more like a cafe type versus bar scene, but we haven't found the location yet to do it. And we're gonna look into the ACR ranch. So my goal ultimately is to make ACR like an ultimate brand of motorcycles, to be known as a feel good motorcycle relate, and that lifestyle type brand.
So I know we said you're in Arizona, but so you like Phoenix, or what exactly is going to be your home area for this business plan?
If it's not going to be okay, I'm in the East Valley, right? We call it Mesa area, which is Phoenix, East Phoenix, and probably around here somewhere. We thought about going up north to the mountains here in Arizona. We call it the White Mountains, but bikers don't ride in the winter. I don't know if you guys know that. Riding in the snow is not a good idea, and so it's probably going to be in this area. If not here, possibly Florida.
Okay.
So you're considering relocating for it?
The wife and I really like warm weather. This is cold. Okay, I got long sleeves on. I'm dying. Okay, I already called the mayor. I want my money back because I didn't move to Arizona to feel cold. You know what I'm saying?
So cold, it's what, like I think we said earlier, it's 69, 70 degrees outside right now?
Yes, frigid.
26 here, but we're not taking
Yeah.
measurements really.
That's illegal. That shouldn't happen.
I'm sorry, it warmed up. It's 30.
Okay, that's unusual.
Yeah, it's 43 here right now. Hey, but I did see I saw guys out riding today. I wanted to be one of them, but I got home too late and had some other stuff doing. This going on the spur of the moment trip last night. So, but no, I'm dying to get out and do some riding. It's been, God, I haven't rode since November. It sucks.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that shouldn't be allowed, man.
Winters are psychologically damaging here in the north, man. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, I mean, you start suffering from PMS, park motorcycle syndrome. It's real.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's supposed to be 50 on Thursday. I already took off. I'm like, I'm riding. I don't care. It's 50. I'm riding. It has been way too long.
I think it's supposed to be nice this coming weekend. Yeah, it's supposed to be up in the 50s this coming weekend here. I will be enjoying some miles this coming weekend. I know it. I guarantee it.
It's almost 3 months, right? 3 months for you. That's a long time, man.
Jesus Christ, you put it that way. God. Yeah.
It's like a lifetime.
Yeah. The toy run, God, I think when was that? That was early November. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go back and find a picture of this data because I'm curious. Yeah, it's been too long. I know that.
I think that, yeah, that's. I mean, it's all relative to what cold is too, right? I mean, people that are in North Dakota don't think it's as cold as we complain about it being here. So when you mentioned ceramic coating. So what is the advantage to that? Because I've heard a lot about it, but I've never had it done to any of my vehicles.
It depends on the type of ceramic coating. This is something that I'm learning as we go right now. It depends on the type of ceramic coating, type of material, and how you apply it. Makes a huge difference, right? Because detailers always say that it's not about the ceramic coating or the polishing; it's about the before.
Okay.
Is the vehicle decontaminated properly in order for you to actually get the coating to stay there for a long period of time? So it protects against, of course, the sun. It protects against dust. It repels water, and it preserves the lifetime and the surface coating of the vehicle. It creates a second layer of protection from the actual paint.
Okay.
So I've seen, you can do a ceramic coat job to a vehicle every year. And then, for example, for customers that want their motorcycles ceramic coated, they can detail their bikes, but they don't have to be as aggressive with it if the bike is ceramic coated, because you're going to repel dirt and rain and water a lot easier with it.
Okay.
So yeah, I know when the wife and I, when we bought our new the new Chevy Trailblazer, was brand new last June, May or June. The dealership ceramic coated it for us when we bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And it does help hold up. I mean, that's great protection.
And it's a very good business too. It's very tedious to do it. I've done it a couple of times. It's a very tedious process to get it. You know, for example, like a car, you can take you probably up to 8 hours. It's a 2 day job because you first, for example, for a vehicle, you wash it, you contaminate it the first day. The second day, you do the ceramic coat. You can't do it within the same time
Okay.
because you need to make sure that it's dried completely before you do it.
I had no idea. Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use a ceramic wax on my motorcycle. I mean, it's not as quality as a ceramic coating, but even that does really well. I'm
Yeah.
impressed with it.
Yeah. I used to, I bought the Flowgenics. You guys heard of it?
No.
I don't know.
Flowgenics. Yeah, check it out. Flowgenics was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good wax, and it really did a good job. And it had ceramic coating on it. Of course, like you said, it is not the same, but it's better than not having it.
The other one I really like is Bug Slide, which you get from the Law Abiding Biker store. That stuff is actually pretty impressive.
Hmm.
Because there's some cleaners, like I have, one saddlebag on my bike. I mean, I have my toolkit. I'll keep some terry cloths and just, some cleaning materials. Because there are those times, in the summer, like, in my intro video, I took a 400-mile ride to Eastern Washington. It looked like I went through a monsoon of bugs. And, if you're going to be gone for a while, it is kind of nice, be able to clean up your bike every now and then, that next morning, get some of those bugs off. And whether you're using, like you're talking, that ceramic coating wax or, like Bug Slide, for instance, it makes it a lot easier to clean that stuff off even by hand the next day. So, your bike doesn't look, well, like shit.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of these products they dissolve the insect, so you don't have to chip it off, and then you're losing paint along with it. So
Oh, I never thought about that.
www.acrdetail.com.
Yeah, the problem is you're not gonna be able to come to my house. You're too
Hey,
Nice plug.
far.
small trip charge will be there.
Swell church. So how did you get $9,000 to detail your bike? It's a long story, babe. Just
Yeah,
don't worry about it. Bike looks good though.
it does. I'm,
So do you have a product preference in mind at this point, or are you still sort of experimenting?
I'm experimenting and I'm learning a lot from my quote unquote silent partner
Okay.
on because one of the things that I'm learning right now it he's not attached to any brand, but he's not attached to the cheapest also. But it is amazing, depending on what kind of surface you're applying the product, the different products and brands that he looks at. So no, I mean until I become somebody sponsors me, I'm gonna be open for anything that comes my way, and I'm gonna as long as the results are good.
and I think, you
Smart move.
can, being as you're, diving into new, you could have the opportunity where you can experiment, where, try different ones where you're going to be able to see firsthand, okay, you know, Jippo cleaner isn't quite as good as Billy Bob. This stuff is a little bit better. And, you know, I think it's going to also, in a way, could help you if you experiment with some of these brands. They all might have the same ingredients on the main level. They say, hey, we're, ceramic wax this, but you dive into, different brands and you're going to probably be able to see how each of them stacks up. What's the quality of this one? Well, I've used this a bunch, not a fan. This stuff, this is working a little bit better. And I think you're going to be able to see firsthand, as you go through some of this, which products are better than others.
Yeah, and the other thing too that that goes back into salesmanship is what's good for me means nothing to a customer, right? So, I mean, I've seen a car being detailed, which I detailed it too, that personally I thought it looked like shit. It was a crappy job, but we knew what the customer expectation was. This is a vehicle that goes off road all the time. The mud marks on the rug inside didn't mean anything to them. He wanted to make sure that the wheels were clean and the exterior was clean in his own eyes. To me, not at all. But it doesn't really matter. As long as the customer is, satisfied with the results. And twofold. you're going to have those customers that are going to say, I'm going to watch every freaking second of everything that you do to my $90,000 1978 Corvette. And so you need to have a lot of confidence because, as long as you take the proper steps in detailing, you can't screw it up. It's when you miss steps that you might have problems.
Okay, so let me ask you this one. You go for a nice ride with your bike. Say you hit, most time you're in decent weather. When you're cleaning your own bike, like for myself, okay, I'll go for instance. If I get caught in rain, I got to ride 20, 30 miles in rain or, nasty roads. I take all my saddlebags off. I'll clean behind the saddlebags, clean the fender. But, if it's just a great sunny day and it's dusty, it's like, okay, I won't need to so much take the bags off just because, I wasn't so much riding in harsh conditions. But if for myself, I get caught in rain, it's like I'll go the next level. And I guess you could say the next level into cleaning. But if it's sunny day and so much, I'm just trying to get bug guts and whatnot off them. It's like, okay, I'm not going to take my saddlebags off and clean them. You know, uh, are you kind of similar in the way when it comes to cleaning your bike?
On my bikes, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I do. I mean, what I deal here is dust, right? And of course, during the summertime when it's 159,000 degrees, you have mosquitoes and insects and so on, just like you. Um, but taking the covers off and then the saddlebags off usually is when you do a 3, 4, 500 mile ride that the bike has been dirty overnight, or you've done a long ride in the day that the bike is filthy all around. What I usually do is just the next day. Next day, I rinse it off and put some coating on it, to make sure that the bike is protected again. And sometimes I buff it the day after. Which, by the way, it's not something you're supposed to be doing, but I know it's not going to hurt the bike.
Well, I
That's
do that
funny.
at times. It is nice because you can sometimes see that grime. Like, maybe you leave the bags on for, one or two washes, and it's like you can kind of see it's a little dirty back in that area. Maybe the chrome trim coming down the rear fender and whatnot. You might have some issues, and I don't know. For me, it's like, all right, it's time for a little deeper clean.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I same here. You know, this time of the year here, I mean, you barely have any bugs out, and it doesn't rain, so you can get away with just riding your bike for an entire month without any worries about getting dirty. That's actually pretty nice.
That would be nice. I don't have
Yeah,
that.
but I can see a coat of dusting on everybody's bike, so make sure that you get acrdetail.com to go to your house and take care of it for you.
That sounds good. All right. So we
I think that's gonna be a great idea.
you mentioned your merchandise. What kind of merchandise do you sell?
Uh, from patches to t-shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, different designs. This one is on the back on the website. You see it. This is if you can read this, get off my ass with the middle finger.
All right, I
Uh,
like that one.
this is for writing. They're very thick material. T-shirts. We have what else we have on the page? The wife has been working on it. Of course, sweaters, hoodies,
Okay.
and what we're focusing on right now is creating different designs. Just very similar to what Harley does. Buying a Harley, an ACR shirt or buying a Harley shirt, if it's the same emblem, what's the reason for buying it, right? So I want to create designs in which relates to the brand and the logo, which is bikes, bikers, and rides. Riding is life. So as we're coming up with different shirts and hoodies, we are, advertising on my Facebook page at this point. And now that I'm getting into the detail business, I'm going to have a link to my website, detail website, to shop at www.americancyclerider.com, so you can get your merch there.
Okay.
The
Now you
the patches that I have are not on the page right now because I get it from a different supplier. And those patches are dedicated. All of the funds of those patches are dedicated to helping an organization that I was affiliated with, which is help families of fallen heroes, law enforcement.
Oh, that's
So I
awesome.
use those funds for that. Yeah.
And actually, I do have one of those patches. I remember you did send me one last year. What's the Arizona state map? When I can't remember what it said in the middle. Yep.
Arizona, the abbreviation Arizona Fallen Hero Memorial Riders.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, some of my best friends that I have is from this organization, retired police officers, and they really, God bless ACR, man, because if it wasn't for that page in the group, I wouldn't have met these beautiful people that are in my life right now. So I consider myself blessed.
That is awesome.
Very nice.
I know there is a motorcycle club down there, a law enforcement one that has started up a chapter down there. The Legion of St. Michael's Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club has a chapter down in Arizona now.
Very cool. I'm gonna check them out.
So I have to ask, so I assume you play guitar. I say that sarcastically. So are you in a band, or is that just a hobby?
Now it is a hobby. So when I lived in New York during my younger years, I had a band, and I wanted to. I played gigs on the weekend, but we at the time I wanted to do original stuff, but the scene was too crazy at the time, and I created a band called the Children of the Grave, and basically we played Sabbath cover songs, Pink Floyd, AC/DC, merged into Iron Maiden too, into a little more technical type of rock music. Yeah, the band, we broke up a little before I moved to Florida, and in Florida I couldn't find the right fit to start a band again. And but just like with motorcycles, you carry this with you forever. And when I moved to Arizona, I tried to get myself involved with a couple of people from my previous employer. We did a couple of things here and there, but nothing serious. I've done some covers for some musicians, and but as far it's just as far as that, and just posting videos on TikTok and sometimes on my Facebook page, and making, yeah.
You do got some good ones, with some good guitar riffs on your TikTok. I will say that.
Oh, cool! Thank you. Yeah, it's originally actually when I got on TikTok, it was just right around COVID, became this madness, and was it back in 2020? The purpose of TikTok was for me to post videos about guitars, and then all of a sudden I noticed that if people don't know who you are, it doesn't matter how good you are or fast you are, it doesn't really matter. And I'm like, okay, so how do I get people to see my videos, right? Well, I got to bring my personality into it, so I brought the motorcycle thing, and then I went from 150 followers to what I got now.
Nice.
So now that I have the followers, posting the video is a lot more fun, because then the people that know you for the motorcycle can relate to you, because now it's the American cycler, playing a guitar solo or a cover of a song or something. So I was a little sneaky there.
It's all about marketing.
Mm-hmm. You got to find your niche in there and hit it and get that algorithm to work in your favor.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it was TikTok, Facebook. It's just about getting the name right. It's getting the name out, and I want ACR to be known, all over the world, and the people to see that brand as a motorcycle brand. And so as long as I'm creating the personality, or evolving with the personality, should I say, because people that know me in real life, they know that this is it. There's nothing. This is Leo. I can be an asshole. I'm poking fun of people all the time. My people call me Pia, right? Pain in the ass, because this is how I am. I'm just always having fun and poking fun at people, and I'm okay when people make fun of me too.
That's funny.
Well, you know what? I mean, you're sitting there, making jabs is something you enjoy. I mean, it's not out of hatred. It's comedy, humor.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, to take a dark situation and make somebody laugh. You know, that's
yeah.
kind of what I
And
see.
and is in one. I don't know if you've seen it, Dever. One that it was a short video of me thinking about selling my roguelite and buying a gold wing.
Oh
I
Jesus.
think I remember
Okay.
that.
All right. So that was a 10-second video, right? So I posted that video on a Facebook page that's supposed to be, a very raunchy motorcycle type bit. The hate that I got on my messenger about that video, the stupidity. I'm like, you're an idiot, If I'm gonna go out chase you and kill you, and I'm like, oh, it's a stupid 10-second video about a Harley guy that has a Harley tattoo, poking fun of Goldwing. You know what I mean? Or poking fun of Harleys actually. Which, by the way, I love Goldwings. By the way, and one day maybe road glide, Goldwing, right next to each other. But yeah, it's
Good
just
thing Big
sometimes
Smitty's
in
not
the.
here.
But yeah, Facebook is kind of like becoming a boring scene for me at this point. I aside from my page and the group there and my group rides being organized through there, it's not there for me anymore.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than watching the Harley riders explode when you say something they don't agree with. It's just the funniest thing in the world. That they get so freaking upset. It's like, dude, it's just a bike. It's not. It's become a religion at some point. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I recently have a friend that went from a Yamaha Cruiser to a Harley very recently, and he says it's a cult. It's
Yeah,
like joining a cult. I say the dark side, right? I'm like, come on. If you keep saying those things, you're gonna start believing it. And sometimes people forget that there's pretty decent, good motorcycle brands and makers out there. They're making some pretty wicked motorcycles right now, and I'm glad that Harley is making a move to make some changes. I don't agree with some of their changes, but yeah, I'm one in a billion. But at least they're putting forth the effort to make it more alongside with today's technology.
sure. I mean, they're going to have to
Yeah.
do something anyway, right? At some point, you're just going to have to move on. There's really not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah,
Well,
but
and you got to try to, better your own markets, help your own sales and do different things.
yeah. So, for example, when the wife gave up her Sportster because it didn't fit her, I kept the Sportster. It was a small 883, and I was gonna make that bike into a little roadster. Doing some reviews and looking into it, it was just not worth it for me to keep that motorcycle instead of getting a sport bike, because the purpose in which I wanted to do with that bike, I could just save the money and get a sport bike and have a lot more, you know, everything else out of
Hmm.
it than a sporty. Um, and so that's what I've done, which, to me, like an 883 is literally a motorcycle that, yeah, it's a good starter bike for some, but the technology, the suspension is just, it's a dinosaur.
Well, and it is. There hasn't been much changes in that bike in 70 years. When they started selling it in the 50s, I think it has been made as that great starter bike into that brand. You're buying a Harley Davidson, but I think, like you're saying, that's a great entry level for a lot of people. I think that's kind of how it's treated.
Yeah. But also, too, you remember that the motorcycle builders, right? The old school motorcycle builders, if you don't ride a sportster, you're not a biker. So you can't ever win, man.
Just buy a road glide, it'll all work out.
That's right.
You'll
Just
figure it out.
go Shark Nation.
Yep.
Shark Nation or nothing. That's where I'm going with.
There you
There
go.
you go. Maybe I gotta say, you guys started off drinking beers, and now you're both drinking water.
I just didn't want to go to my fridge and pick up a beer.
Yeah.
You're so judgmental, Denver.
No, I'm just literally trying to be a pusher. I'm having the mixie. My beers are both empty, so
Now, what is that? A Cosmo? What are you drinking?
Captain Morgan's and ginger ale actually.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was a Cosmo or like a Blue
Nah,
Hawaiian or something.
no, I'm not into that fruity stuff.
Okay. We're making
Hey, the
sure.
Captain Morgan's and ginger ale, dude, it tastes like cream soda. It's fucking dangerously delicious.
Yes.
I'm gonna try it.
That's
Oh,
a
it's freaking good.
that's a good
Cap.
mix.
Okay. I
So do
got
you have any
both at the house.
plans on do you have any plans on doing any mods to your bike, to your road glide?
I don't know. So because I've made so many changes in the last 2 years with motorcycles, and nobody believes me, that I'm gonna keep this bike, which is fine. I just got away with the slip on at this point, which enhanced the sound because I had my buddies telling me that I don't have a Road Glide, I had Baby Shark, because it didn't have any good sound to it.
Wow.
I
Sounds like
even
you're
made a
hanging out with
video
That's
about
Denver.
that.
fucking awesome.
I have a video about that too.
No, what did you put
And
on?
well, of course, I got the Shark Road brand
Shark
or
Road.
Road Shark. Either one of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. Okay.
I put that brand in because it's a shark, and got that in on. I put a new filter kit in it. Um, and that's basically it. Changed a couple of things on it, but at this point, I'm just gonna ride it the way it is. Well, the first thing that people do, right, is change the bars, right? Well, I'm 5'7", guys. That I can't do the 16-inch apes on the road glide, and so I'm gonna keep the bars the way they are, and I'm just gonna ride it. Um, and I have a commitment to some that I'm gonna put 10,000 miles this year on that bike.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, and just ride it. I'm gonna ride the shit out of it.
Well, God, if you live in Arizona, it shouldn't be hard. You can ride every day.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Then that's the thing is and especially with the wife riding now, so there's always a reason to go out. Always.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Like
You got it
today.
made now.
She went, yeah, she wanted to go out for a ride. I'm like, really? Oh no. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Twist my arm. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Now, how was that transition for you? Well, you said earlier off show she didn't ride much with you before.
No, she didn't ride at all.
Okay.
She grew up on motorcycles. She's from up in Michigan. Her father, he has always had Harleys, so she grew up on a motorcycle. But from the beginning, we've been together 15 years, and she said, you can go ride your motorcycle, but don't ever ask me to go with you and to be around it. And if anything bad happens out there, don't tell me, unless it's it's part, it's an injury. And I think was it last year? Yeah, it was beginning of last year. She one day we're just watching TV, and she's having her wine. I'm having my whatever, my beer. She says, I think you should get a bigger bike. I was like, why? She's like, because I need to go out with you. I says, okay, well, but wait a minute. Who are you? What'd you do to my wife? What is my wife, right? And then she said, well, I am for years and years and years. I see all of the beautiful places you've been, the relationships that you've made, and what you're doing with the ACR. I want to be part of it. And then, of course, that same weekend, we went to the Harley store and got the Street Glide. Of course, we got the tour pack and the big rider seat and everything else. And she rode with me, guys, 4 times. 4 times. And she's like, yeah, I think I want my own. So she went to the riding academy at Harley, and just bought it. We bought her a Sportster, which she did not she didn't get along with the Sportster. It was a mistake on our end, and then we bought a Can-Am, and then lately we got her a two-wheel a Kawasaki Vulcan that I traded actually for the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT, which she's absolutely in love with the bike.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
crazy hearing Honda Rebel and an 1100 because forever, I mean, the Rebel was just the single 250, and it's
So
very
the
different.
thing that I was reading tons of reviews on the bike before buying the bike because DCT, automatic, semi-automatic, clutch and go, right. I didn't know anything about it. So this bike is actually faster than the VTX 1800, which is
Really?
one of the fastest Hondas ever made. Yeah, VTX 1800 was is the shit for Honda, right, for cruisers. Yeah, it's the fastest motorcycle, right, in production right now, cruiser motorcycle in the lineup.
Really?
Yeah, but it actually
Interesting.
has a very very friendly throttle because you can adjust to a standard riding style, sport riding style, which is a demon, and a user adaptable that you can adapt to the shifting to your liking to.
Hmm.
Pretty insane.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So
It almost makes me want to just go to a dealership and just test ride one for fun and check it out. I'm curious.
yeah, so the DCT came from the Africa Twin, right? The adventure bike from Honda, the 1100, and also the Gold Wings come. They can also come equipped with it. So
Yeah,
I
I knew
thought
the
to
Gold
myself,
Wings did.
yeah, so if a Goldwing has DCT and people love them, can't go wrong with this bike. And you're right. I mean, you talk about a Honda Rebel. This is a muscle bike. When you look at it, and it sounds awesome too. I mean, even with the stock pipes. But yeah, she loves that thing.
I mean, they certainly
Interesting.
changed the way it looked too. I think it looks really a lot more aggressive than it did before.
Yeah, yeah, it did. When I bought it, I remember they had. This is no joke. When I bought it, and there were 5 Rebels in the showroom. When I left, there's only one that day, and it's like every
Wow.
time we get a shipment on them, they go, and that's one of the best selling bikes at the dealership.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Hey, maybe
Interesting.
Honda's onto something with that one then.
I think that DCT is interesting. I think it's a good option.
Yeah, I've never ridden a bike with one. I have no experience or anything to talk about it with. But I mean, I've heard stories, but yeah, I've never had that firsthand knowledge or experience on one.
Yeah.
well, the connection that you have with your motorcycle kind of goes away a little bit because the motorcycle is doing some of the work for you. The closest thing you can get from it is switching to manual and doing the paddle shifter, so you can do what you want with it. It gives you that option. But even if you forget to to upshift or downshift, after 20 seconds, the computer say, okay, they forgot about the paddle shifter. Let me take over again. So it's for somebody that really wants to go for a good ride and not worry about you know downshifting, upshifting, and that the soulful part I think is gone from it. But if you're not into the soulful part of a motorcycle, it doesn't really matter.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
If you just want something easier, you just want to forget about everything in a way. I guess you could say and just ride.
exactly. Because that's what you do. And many times you catch yourself grabbing that, like, oh my God, there's nothing here. What am I doing? What I mean?
That would
There's
be
nothing to
freaking
shift.
weird. Yeah,
It
that
is.
well,
part there
you
would be hard to get over. Say, shit.
well, you never rode a scooter, Denver?
Nope.
Seriously, no.
No. Seriously,
Because
never.
I had that 650 scooter and it was strange. It was the strangest experience because you can't you really have to think about it. It's hard because when you read a motorcycle book, it doesn't translate. You everything you got to think foot brake. There's no clutch, so you have to ride differently. But I think for the aging population, that's something that Harley could add and bring benefit, especially for a trike. I think for a trike, it would be awesome. You could just
That's
get
a
on
good
that thing
point.
and haul paws. You know,
Yeah, the only automatic motorcycle Harley has is the live wire, right?
yes, and I'll tell you what. I've done that demo twice with Livewire. I did the same event 2 different days. And it was interesting that all these bagger bros are there. I say that because
Yep.
I'm being sarcastic, but and people with ultras and the same thing. We had lunch afterwards, and everybody was saying the same thing. You're like, this was like being a kid again. It was like riding a pedal bike. You didn't have to worry about anything. You grabbed a handful of throttle and you went. And if you had the aggressive regen on it, you really didn't even have to brake. You just had to let go of the throttle slowly. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely going to take some getting used to, but I think it would open up a different market for them.
I think it's a great hop around town bike. I mean, if we're talking a live wire, but I don't think it's not there for distance, in my opinion. You want to go rip around town, hop some places, grab a few things, not going far. Awesome, but that's the downfall.
Well, I was thinking more of it from a DCT transition. From
Yeah.
having that transmission, I think it opens it up to more riders, and the more riders you can bring into the sport, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Especially if can you imagine a trike with that? You could just be like having a Cadillac. You could just sit back there with cruise control on and just roll.
I think it'd be genius on a trike.
I wonder if it can be done. I wonder if people have done that.
I mean, I would argue it'd be genius on even my bike, right? Because 9 times out of 10, I'm on the highway on that. But wow, I shouldn't say 9 times out of 10, but a large majority of people that buy ultras you're touring, let's say over 50% of my time, you're rolling. You're not in stop and start traffic. So why not? Harley won't listen to me. It doesn't matter.
Never know.
Well,
Pan America. The Pan America was just like a game changer, in my opinion. Just the price tag is a little too steep, I think.
I think they went after that BMW market because I don't know if you saw in the marketing announcement or they introduced an electronic quick shift to it, so they're really trying to go after that 1250 BMW market. And that's another thing. I'm like, man, if I have a quick shifter on my bike, I mean, that's great. It just makes it more of an enjoyable, relaxed ride.
Yeah.
24 grand for it? I don't think so.
It's only money. You can't take it with you. As long as I get the ceramic coating when you put it on, it'll hold its value.
Well, get the Honda Africa for $14,000, and the ceramic coating is going to be a lot more, within range.
Yeah, I guess, but
I got a few buddies with those. They freaking love them.
Mm-hmm.
You still talk to them?
Occasionally.
Okay. Nah, they're all good bikes. I just I don't know. I think it was great to see Harley think outside the box for once.
Yeah.
I think it was smart to, I mean, they're trying to break into a market that has been dominated and tested and true by BMW. And then, Honda came into it a few years back with the Africa Twin. And now, they're saying, hey, look, we want a piece of this pie. And, you do got some work to do to get around it. But, when you're trying to break into something that has been tried and true and dominated, I mean, you got to admit, BMW has dominated that market forever. Mm-hmm. And now, you got to prove yourself.
Yeah.
I think it was a big risk for them, but I think it's going to pay off.
I think it will.
And it looks just like a Road Glide, so it's just more of the Road Glide nation.
Oh, that's awesome, Brad.
It's a mini Road Glide.
Gosh. For dirt.
Yeah, it's a dirt glide.
So, Leo, man, where can everybody, find you and check out your social media at?
Well, Facebook, just look up American Cycle Riders, and my group is there. And Instagram, I'm not quite ready yet because I'm going to launch the detail portion of the business there. For the moto detail business, just check out www.hcrdetail.com. That should be up in about a week to 10 days. And of course, for merch, AmericanCycleWriter.com. You can get your merch there.
And don't forget American Cycle Riders on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks everybody for tuning in to another Milepost of the V-Twin Life. This is Mark's 53 Milepost deep, man. This has been a lot of fun. We ain't going to stop. We got a lot more coming. So, hey, guys, have fun, ride safe, enjoy that open road.
To the ground.
See you.